people in here. Feel free to do the same.
I'll just retweet whatever you tweet.
That
sounds
works.
like a plan. It does sound like a plan.
Doesn't it? Okay. Weird being, I'm on the BeLive account. What's up, Johnny S? Johnny. I like how you spell that. All right.
Oh, we have to join the channel so we can see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just load this up.
Oh, I got a little Christmas tree, bro. Oh, shit.
They have a Twitter. BeLive. I don't know. I'm just going to say BeLive. I couldn't find their actual tweet handle. All right, and I'll tag you guys as well. Can you hear that vacuum? Hopefully not.
I heard something. Barely.
Very slightly,
Okay.
but not too much.
Stream's canceled. Forget it.
Rage.
All right. Tweet should be going out now. You guys should get a notification if you want to retweet that. I'm going to do the same. I'm also going to post this in the StreamKey Discord. What's up, Eshnid?
Yeesh.
Going Beardy. Welcome, everybody. Get all those retweets going. Yeah, so if you guys are joining us now and you have no idea what is going on, we are doing a partnership with BeLive today for a special 1-hour segment on goal setting in 2019. So basically, how to set effective goals in 2019 as a streamer specifically, and kind of our experience with that. And then we'll be taking questions from you guys if you have specific questions about your own goals or need help setting goals. It's going to be another day where I say goals a lot, I think. But a few of those. What's up, Argeek, Muir Dragon, everybody? Nightbot timing out, people?
Yeah.
Jeez. It's not my Nightbot. I don't know if I can control it. Maybe Meemaw spans some emotes or something.
Maybe it was a link. I don't know.
It was a 5-second timeout. So,
yeah.
What's up, Snoop? What's up, everybody? Saint Diddy. Welcome. All right. Well, we only have from 12 till 1, so I guess we can go ahead and get started as people kind of keep rolling in here. First of all, since we're on a new channel, this isn't really an official podcast. I thought it'd be a good idea to just quickly introduce ourselves to everyone who's watching. So first of all, I'll start with myself. I am GreenChord. I am the marketing and media manager for True Gaming, which is a company that does server hosting as well as helps educate streamers on basically how to grow their channels. So I work with our affiliates and partners to help manage those, as well as growing the community. So that's a little about me, and I've done research on goal setting. So hopefully I'll be able to help a little bit today, basically, on the show. Secondly, can we jump over to Velok? You want to do a quick introduction?
What's going on, guys? I'm Vel or Velok. I've been streaming for a little over 2.5 years now, and I'm going into full time starting in January. So got some goals in mind for the new year coming up with growth and everything. So yeah.
Sweet. Gamer Dad, tell us about yourself.
So I'm Gamer Dad. I'm a creative or art streamer mostly. Do a little bit of gaming, but mostly painting figures and focus on a lot of tutorial based streaming.
Sweet. And last but not least, SaltedGreg, who's newly partnered with True.
Hey guys, brand new here. Really excited to be here. Yeah, I'm a partnered mixer streamer, variety gamer, typically Rocket League and things like that, and almost coming up to my first year of streaming. So like super excited for that.
Awesome, congrats, man. I'm excited too because we have a good diversity of people on the panel today. SaltedGreg's on Mixer, Gamer Dad does creative streaming, Velok does more of the traditional game streaming. So no matter what kind of streamer you are, hopefully you'll find something valuable out of this discussion today over the next hour. So first of all, just a little bit of explanation. I think we're going to take the first 20 minutes or so, guys, to just go over our own thoughts about goal setting and some experiences we've had there. And then I'd really like to turn around after that and just take a lot of questions from the chat. If you guys have questions about your own goals, if you've seen the podcast before, you know how this works. You can just tag us and ask. But for the next 20 minutes, just hang tight and think of your own questions, think of goals that you have, and we'll answer those in just a bit. So first of all, let's start off and just kind of go around and give our thoughts on setting goals as a streamer. If you've maybe done it in the past, or if you're thinking about it going into 2019, starting the new year. I'll start this off with GamerDad, actually. What's your experience with goals?
Mine have been mostly through the most annoying way of performance evaluations, self-evaluations through work. And they kind of go by this SMART concept, so like specific and measurable goals. And I started to use a very watered-down concept for my own stream goals, where you set like a target, you set something you want to achieve, and then ways that you can get there along the way with small little milestones.
Gotcha. Very, very cool. Yeah, the SMART acronym, what does that stand for? Do you remember?
I have it right here.
Nice.
So it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Gotcha. Cool. So those, have you had actual experience making goals for your stream as opposed to work yet, or is that sort of new to you?
I tried a little bit of it this year, but once I kind of got along the way, it fell by the wayside. We had some real life things come up to kind of slow down progress, so didn't really hold myself too accountable to it. But 2019 will be a little bit different of a situation.
Gotcha. So like, tell us a little bit more about that then. What did you kind of plan to have as goals this year, and how are you changing it going into next year based on those experiences?
Well, partnership and viewership were two very big targets, not necessarily achieving partnership, but getting on that path. And so I targeted viewership numbers, average views, as my big kind of measurement on success of the stream. And I wanted to get I would do it each month, and I would add a little bit to my viewership each month. And if I didn't make it, I would pretty much review kind of what fell short, so I can use that again the following month and make some changes to get there. So, 1 month it would be, I want to get to 30. Then next month it would get to 40, and so on. And then, just the different kinds of content. I found out things that I'm doing on stream can add or subtract from that viewership number pretty quickly. But going into this year, I'm not going to use my average viewership as my goal, because I felt like I lost a little bit of kind of my sight into what the community was about, versus, it became more like I want my numbers versus I want my community. And so it's gonna kind of switch around a little bit this year to some more goals that will help with viewership, but will target more community growth.
Gotcha. I like that you're moving away from aiming at concurrent viewership, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But let's move on to Velok next. What's your experience been with goal setting, and what are you thinking of your own sort of goals for your stream going into 2019?
Okay, so like when I first started streaming, my initial goal was I needed to focus on being as entertaining as possible. And so I like worked at that for like probably a year. I'm just trying to like figure out how to be talking the whole time and try to be, like try to react to things the right way and like in a funny way to kind of keep it comedic for everybody. That way, if there's not something really intense going on, there's something funny, hopefully going on to kind of keep you engaged. And then so after I kind of got, I would say, decent at that, I don't think I'm good at it yet. I kind of focused on, well, I'm somewhat entertaining in some aspects, and I didn't have the views that I felt that I should. And I looked at why I didn't have that, and I noticed I didn't have the community, like an actual like community base. And so I focused on doing that. And the way that I did that was I tried to focus on ways off stream to get the people that I had that watched me sometimes to come back regularly. And I also wanted to make sure that I was focusing on getting them to subscribe to my channel. And so you can always just have somebody just subscribe to your channel just because, but if you give them a reason, and if you open up your lives to subscribers a little bit more, that kind of opens up the floodgates, essentially, if you can do it the right way. And so I started up a Snapchat. I know GamerDad used to be a part of the Snapchat group when I did that. And so I focused on growing a community, not just in stream, but just in general. That way, like I could go into my Snapchat, and even if the people weren't in my actual stream, like being an actual viewer, they were still a member of the community. And so I still had that backing. And I felt like that was a huge turnaround earlier this year that kind of boosted my growth. And then so this coming up year, since I'm going full time, I'm going to be focusing a lot on that kind of same aspect, not so much concurrent viewers, but just overall community, whether they're in stream or just, kind of lurking from the background.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that a lot. And you focused on bringing people to your channel and getting people to sub in your channel. I like that you mentioned that. But rather than just setting a goal, you thought of some new strategies to make people want to sub, right? You didn't just say, I want to, I'll reach 30 subscribers magically. It's like, okay, I'll develop this incentive to want to sub, which I also think is a better strategy than just, again, setting a number like that. I'll get into that in a second. Greg, so do you want to quickly tell us about any sort of goal setting you've had with your stream, or maybe any thoughts you've had going into 2019 for your channel?
Yeah, so I mean, starting up last year, going into streaming with no background on it before, never doing anything, and picking what was the Underdog Mixer as a streaming platform to do it straight from the Xbox. It was, without knowing how I was going to grow or, trying to plan that, it was always, getting to the first 100 was always a big milestone for me. And then when you hit that, it was kind of, getting to 200 is a big milestone for me. And it's only really been since probably about 4 or 5 months ago, you kind of have two types of followers. You get one that will come in for the stream, and then they may never come again. And then the second type of follower is actually part of that community that you can guarantee, will be back again and again. And so really, I changed my stream around. I focused on, rather than trying to just push for the numbers, try and get the community behind it. So that means, my goal was to make a community on Discord so that even when I'm not streaming, we've still got that connection. And that obviously boosts your performance of your stream and, the pleasure it is to stream, because all of a sudden you've got that close-knit family. Not only that, reaching out to other streamers in the similar games. So, for example, Rocket League and things, we've done, we set out goals to integrate and do cross-stream tournaments and things. All of a sudden, you become, your social footprint goes through the roof because you're constantly getting intertwined with other streamers. You get noticed a lot more. And you pick up those viewers, which may never have come across your channel necessarily, because maybe they're, in that different category as well. So gotcha. I think it's less about the numbers of followers and more about the community and actually getting those involved. And really going forward into the new year, what I want to do is just boost that even more for the subscribers. Those that have gone to the next level and are actually subscribing per month. Making sure that they've got their they've got their stamp on the stream as well.
Right. Yeah. So I like that a lot. And the thing I'm hearing across all three of you is that you initially focused a lot on numbers, like hard numbers, whether it was viewers or subs or followers. And recently you've kind of moved away from numbers and more into more abstract things like community involvement and how active is my community and things like that. I think that's really important because a lot of people, when they're getting into something like streaming, or I think growing and following anywhere, the initial thing you probably do is try to set a number goal, whether it's I want to hit 100 followers, like Greg said, or even like GamerDad said, I want to hit 30 concurrent viewers, or I want to hit partner, which is really just a numbers check, right? So I think it's good for us to talk about this because, especially for new streamers, we want to encourage people not to go so quickly into hard number goals. Because the big problem with number goals is that you don't actually control them. So if you want to get 100 followers, if you want to get 50 viewers, you can't really, at the end of the day, make anyone do anything. You can't make them follow you. You can't make them click on your channel to watch. So it's better to focus on things that you can control. If you're in Velok's case, if you want to get more subscribers, maybe you can create a new sub incentive. That's something you can do to incentivize subbing. So you can still... I think it is helpful to have those numbers, like, partnership, whatever, as not exactly goals, but like a vision for the future. But in terms of actually actionable things you want to plan for, you should aim more around things you can control, whether it's creating a new program, creating a new schedule, opening a new platform like Discord. All those things are good ways to create the effects you want to happen in your channel that aren't so tied to like a number value. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you agree with that overall? Anything to add there?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. One of the things that I kind of fell for, though, going along with stick with what you control, is I fell for all the Twitch changes. And when I say that, they changed the partnership rules, right? The 75 concurrent views, they switched over and changed how those concurrent views came in and everything like that. So I started to kind of drive to whatever I could to make those numbers go up. And if you fall into that game, and lose sight of yourself, it's going to, I mean, my stream cut down to 25% of its original viewership because of it. It was a big hit. So.
Right.
May I add as well, it's so obvious to see a streamer doing that. Passion for what you're doing stands out above anything else. And that's, when someone jumps in and you're passionate about something, you're not just going for the most popular games at the time just to try and get noticed, which is also a really terrible idea if you're starting out as well. It's all about the passion of the game, and you will be a million times more successful in the long run if you go for those games or the whatever you're streaming about. As long as you're passionate with doing it, it's so much easier to do. I feel loads of people burn themselves out playing or strategically going for the popular games just to try and get those numbers.
Right. Yeah, it's something we talk about on our podcast StreamKey a lot in terms of game choice. It's easy to either, both ends of the spectrum. You can look at statistically, this is the best game to stream for this reason, and so I'm going to stream that even though I hate it. It's easy to fall into that trap, whereas a lot of people, once they've been in it for a while, realize that being able to stream long term is going to be much easier if you pick a game that you just like, regardless of this. According to my algorithm, this is not the good game to grow in. If you enjoy it, then you can usually make it work, with some exceptions. So that's a good point to add, Greg. We have some comments from the chat. I do want to quickly move into Q&A from the chat, guys. If you have comments, questions, feel free to start throwing them out, and I'll keep asking questions and bringing up topics here as we talk. Muir Dragon, hopefully I said that right, mentioned that Twitch and Slobs and a lot of these programs do encourage creators to concentrate on numbers, which I agree with. I mean, even Twitch does this with affiliate and partnership. Those are numbers that kind of get idolized a little bit, I think, in terms of if you hit 75 viewers, suddenly you've made it. And that I understand why Twitch does it to an extent, because they have to measure it somehow. But I do think people can get too wrapped up in that and just focusing so much on numbers and less on abstract things like growing a community and how engaged your community is and things like that. So that's a good point, Dragon. Let's talk about partner and affiliate. Actually, I want to talk about that a little bit more, because my hunch is that a lot of people have partner and affiliate as main goals, and probably on Mixer, Greg, there's some equivalent, and a partnership is on Mixer. Yeah, they don't have an affiliate program, from my understanding, but my guess would be people on affiliate on Mixer still really want to get partner. Is that
exactly? That's the only measurable goal you can kind of hit on Mixer. You don't staff and you get that midway. It is either partner or nothing, right? Which has its pros and cons. But yeah, that's typically the aim for most Mixer streamers, is to get that partner.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of similar to Twitch's partnership program. I think a lot of people set that as their goal. Like, whatever, in 2019, I want to get affiliate, I want to get partner, and that's their goal. When that's not really specific enough of a goal. I did a study last year, and similar to Gamer Dad's points, statistically, the best goals are ones that are controllable, meaning you have control over them. Again, meaningful, they mean something to you. Specific, they're not just vague, they're very clear on what you're going to be doing. Challenging, they're kind of tough for you, but they're not impossible. They are going to be somewhat of a strain. And lastly, both long-term and short-term, not just one or the other. So circling back to partner and affiliate, those in and of themselves are not the best goals, because they're kind of vague and they're so focused on things that you can't really control. Like, you're not the one who's going to check yourself or make yourself an affiliate or partner. But some of the sub goals that are required to be a partner affiliate, you can control. So for example, stream for 25 hours in the last 30 days is one of the partner requirements for Twitch. And Mixer probably has something similar. I don't know it off the top of my head. Some sort of required time to stream. That's something that's very controllable for the streamer. So those are easy. But then the infamous one, in terms of you have to reach 75 average viewers, that's one you really can't control. And if you set a goal like 75 average viewers, it's just so, how are you going to get there? That's not enough of a goal in itself to be fulfilling for you. It's specific, sure, but it's not something you can control. So setting sub goals for that is a better solution. So let's talk about that in particular, because I think viewership is probably the hardest thing to get goals around, because you can set goals of, like Gamer Dad said, I want to get 45 viewers or whatever, but you can't really create a great way to get there. But you can maybe use some other goals and strategies to increase your viewers when you're not so focused on viewers. Hopefully that makes sense. What do you guys think in general when you're trying to increase your viewership? What are some ways or goals that you can make to help increase your viewership without like saying specifically, I want to get my viewership to 40 or whatever? Does that make sense to everybody? I know it's been a long-winded discussion here.
Yeah, it does. I think part of that is kind of, did I just really?
All right. Gamer Dad, if you can rejoin maybe. I'm not sure what happened there.
He's still in here.
Oh, can you see him?
Yeah, I can see him. Yeah. And I can hear him.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Gamer Dad. I'll see if I can get your camera fixed.
So I think you can set the...
You guys hear him?
Yeah. Stream is sticking out too.
I can't hear him up. Okay. Give me 1 second. Val, can you talk quickly about this if you have?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm trying to think of what it was again.
Basically, if you want to grow your viewership, what are some
goals? So there's a few things you need to look at to start it out. So do you want to have viewers that are like a community, or do you want to have viewers that are just there to see you as a streamer? So like for me, if I ever grow to a certain point, I want to make sure that I'm the streamer that's, having fun, hanging out with my community, hanging out with my viewers and everything. I don't want to be there just like as a streamer that has viewers and then that's it. You know what I mean? So it depends on how you want to grow that. So it's going to take a lot longer. Potentially it could take longer to grow your community that like backs you into like growing. But for me, growing viewers, looking at it as a direct number is really, really difficult for me to see now, just because I feel like as like you start streaming a little bit more, you start seeing like what really matters. And what seems to matter a lot more is having that community, having those people that are there day in, day out, hanging out with you and supporting you any way that they can. So I focus a lot on just growing that group of people that they're not just there for me, but they're there because everybody else is also there. You know what I mean? So like their friends are also in my chat. So why wouldn't they be there? They can all hang out, talk with each other. I don't know. Focusing on growing specific numbers is really difficult for me at this point, because it's just not something that I even really plan on.
Right. And I think basically any goal you set for yourself is going to help you grow your viewers. At the end of the day, that's kind of what everybody wants, I would say, at some level. So things that might not see connected, like maybe you want to have a more consistent schedule, or you want to post more consistently on social media. Those will pretty much inarguably grow your viewers at some level. So I think the goals like that are much better to set for yourself, because you can really control them, and it's up to you to execute on them and accomplish them, as opposed to just sitting there and hoping that 10 extra viewers will show up today,
Right.
No, that's my thoughts. Greg and Gamer Dad, you were talking and had an issue, but do you want to finish your thought there?
Yeah, I kind of, instead of looking for those numbers, right? So I still want to grow, and Twitch looks at growth through viewership. So you can't always fight against that. But what you can do is kind of, set the table, so to speak, so you can be ready for whatever metrics Twitch utilizes. So some of the things that I've done is changed, not really the content, but the kind of the attitude behind the stream. Focus on more of the things that I like, things that my community has liked. So you name you brand a specific night of your stream or a specific day of your stream for something. a lot of people do Metal Mondays, and they used to play metal music and stuff like that. So if you have a themed thing, you can attract the community that you want and the people that you want. And you know what? If you do it effectively and you hold true to like your personality and yourself, your community will grow, as long as you're that genuine, welcoming person. Which, you know, if you just go back to, I want to be at 75 average viewers, well, nobody cares. Like nobody really cares. I'm not going to look at anybody's channel and go, I'm going to go view them because they're at 73 and I can help them get to 75. Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Absolutely agree. And you mentioned that, you know, even controlling your personality is something that's more controllable than your viewership.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I like that you bring that up because I think that probably gets overlooked for people a lot. They're looking at more specific things of whatever, schedule, social media strategy, whatever. But even just like the way your camera presence is and the personality you bring to stream each day, that can be a huge difference for growing your viewership.
You know, and a lot of people shy away from some of the other things that you can control and do, such as giveaways or viewer loyalty, as I like to call it. You know, I do every once in a while, based on, you know, the Twitch revenue from the previous month, I will do a little bit of kind of a viewer loyalty giveaway where you don't have to be there, but if you are, you increase your chances of potentially kind of getting rewarded later. But it's not the drive and the focus and everything like that. It's just kind of a perk in the background that you have available. If you do it, if you make it your main drive and you keep running it and pushing it forward, what you'll get is kind of those fake views. And you watch it, you do a giveaway, like the big giveaway day, you spike up to like 100 viewers. The moment you pick a winner, you drop down to like 40. Like everybody's gone and they never come back. You know, so if you still want to, I mean, because with the creative space, everything I have is like a physical, tangible good. So people want that. Watching Veli play Fortnite, you can play with them. You can jump in the channel with them if you're a sub and stuff like that. But you're not taking anything necessarily home off of that stream unless you're giving away V-Bucks and stuff like that. But if you have something, you know, that your viewership wants and learns about and can build upon, you can really take that to your advantage to build that community.
That really comes down to finding your value to people, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're, like you said, literally giving away things that are valuable, or people just value spending game time with you or whatever. Finding your value for sure is a huge one. That's hard because it's not very specific, and it's really hard to get your head around, and it takes a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that every streamer has to really kind of hone in on if they want to take their channel to the next level.
I'll tell you, the first part of that is not spending money out of your own pocket. Let your Twitch revenue fund it.
Right.
Makes your wife happy.
But like if you wanted to find your value, for example, that in itself is a tough goal. But you could make other goals like, you know, brainstorm 5 ideas about what my channel is about each day or something. That's a more specific action you can take to accomplish that goal. So that's in general what I'm trying to have people think more about going into 2019. Is your goal something that you can physically execute on and influence and achieve yourself? Or are you dependent on other people to fulfill that for you? Greg, do you want to talk anything about this topic?
I think, yeah, you guys have covered most of it, but you know, I'm in one of those situations where I can't commit myself to stream specific times per every day from, you know, 5 till 9 or whatever it is, due to managing with a job and also with a partner who does shift work whenever hours, and I'm sure there's loads of people out there in the same situation as me. Just to let you know, it is easy to get around. If you have a schedule and you can stick to it 100%, then you are on a front foot above anyone else, because people, the community will know when you're going live. But to get around that, what you can do is, you know, like I've said with the Discord, if you stream a certain number of times per week, if you try and do it around the same kind of time of day, then that's pretty much the best thing I can recommend. It's always just being, you know, even though it's not going to be the same every week, you can still plan. You can still put that extra bit of effort in at the start of the week just to forward think and say, right, I'm going to be streaming, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or whatever it will be.
Right.
And, you know, that kind of planning will mean that the community, those followers which know you will be in that stream. Instantly, that'll bump your numbers up, so you'll be hitting those Mixer, Twitch goals. But really, for planning to bring new people in, like the first 5 seconds of them popping into that stream is everything for them. So you can get clever bots which will tell you who comes in the channel, and really just saying hey to them, just calling them out and saying hey, making them feel like part of the stream rather than just like a TV program or something. Those first 5 seconds, that impression you give to people is huge, and that's how you really grow and meet new people. But yeah, also it's all about just that bit of planning ahead of the stream, and your professionalism around how you distribute where you're streaming, whether it's through Twitch, Twitter, Discord, or whatever social platform you have, Snapchat.
Right. Yeah, and I like that you mentioned schedule, because that's something that I think people, if you have a schedule where you can't be consistent, like I have that, for example, you might think that you can't really set a schedule because, I work different days each week, or I've got these things happening. But I think anybody can set a schedule at some level, even if it's inconsistent. Having that written out somewhere, like I will stream, like if I stream, I'll be live these nights at 8 and I'll post here. That is still more of a schedule than no schedule, even if it's inconsistent and not crazy specific. Just having something like that written down can definitely help out, I think. So that's a very good actionable item that if you don't have some sort of schedule, that's definitely something I would encourage you to look at going into 2019 for sure. Let's transition that actually into this next piece. And if you guys have questions, if you have your own goals, ideas for the coming year, let us know. I saw one from Snoop Hogg. He said, my goal this year is to do a better job of working within the platform. That's really vague to me. So I would be curious to hear more about that if you have more specific things. He's a Mixer streamer, by the way. But let's talk about, for someone who's new to Twitch, or maybe who's never set streaming related goals going into 2019, what would you guys say are some of the most valuable goals you can set for someone, again, who's like brand new? They don't have a schedule. They haven't really thought through what their channel is going to be like. What would you say to those kind of people?
Get a brand. Make a brand for yourself. That's the first thing. Spend a bit of time. Don't get me wrong. Spend a bit of time looking at some of the other streamers, but make sure the one thing that you have above anyone else is your personality. Okay, if you're just going to copy the top streamer, why would they want to come into your thing if you're doing exactly the same thing? So yeah, make an image for yourself. Figure out what you're going to be all about. I think Gamer Dad said it. I think Velox said it already. But yeah, just make sure that you are putting your best foot forward in terms of your personality, and really everything is a lot easier once you know what you're going to be doing, and have in your head why people would come to your channel as opposed to anyone else.
Right. So what are like some specific things people could do to start preparing a brand? Like what are some specific actions they could take each day to work on that?
Get a name, start with a logo, start with some kind of theme, start getting in amongst the community, which you're going to be going into. So start looking at, do a bit of, I would say market research, but it's not really even that. But have a look across, I don't know, Mixer, Twitch, figure out where your passions are. And one of the things I did to try and give myself a bit of a front foot was find the games which weren't really getting covered, which I was passionate about. So for my example, it was Rocket League. I knew there was a gap in the Rocket League community in Mixer. I jumped straight into that, and all of a sudden you're not fighting you're not fighting against thousands of people doing the same thing. Rather than 1,000, it was tens, hundreds in some cases. But I know Mixer is a lot smaller than Twitch in terms of audience, but it maps across. It's finding those gaps to get your name noticed.
Right. So a good way to do that maybe would be to lay out, brainstorm one new logo each day, or commission one artist to make a logo this month or something. I think having numbers around that helps out a lot because it's more measurable in terms of what you're going to be doing. But I definitely agree. Finding a brand is something that a lot of people kind of put off, or they kind of shamble together over the course of streaming and just kind of roll with what they have. But taking time to be intentional about it can really help you solidify what your channel is going to be about, what people can expect from your channel each and every day. So I like that topic a lot. And there's a lot of different goals you could set around branding, but thinking through some actionable steps through how to make a brand to be great for 2019. I love that. Velok, do you have any tips for new people looking to set goals, where to start in 2019?
Yeah, so especially like when you're first starting, you don't really have too much of like a viewer base or anything yet. So one of the things that I did to try to grow that and just kind of is I focused on moving up in the directory that I was in. So at the time I was playing CSGO, which was a terrible decision, but I ended up still gaining a little bit of traction as a newer streamer that wasn't a high ranking in the game or anything like that. But what I focused on was I would look at the directory for CSGO and I would look at around my viewer base, which is like 0 to 3 at the time. And I would just see what the other streamers in that area, like what their setup looked like as far as like their overlay, where their camera was, how big the camera was, and like try to like see what my thought process was on which one I should click on. And I would try to emulate that or say maybe I could do something better than that. And then so once I focus on making my layout on par or hopefully above par on what everybody else had around my area, I would look up a little bit higher, do the same thing. And then after that, I would also go into that person's stream and see what they were doing on like as a streamer that I wasn't doing quite as well. And so that's just like a really easy thing to do. Like I treated it as like a mini competition with like the 10 surrounding people in the directory. And so you don't really have to set too many goals as far as like, I need to get these numbers or anything, but you can set those goals as I can do what these other streamers are doing. Hopefully I can do it better. And you just work your way up the directory that way.
I love that because that's really specific. You could literally just spend, 20 minutes a day, look at the 5 channels that are above me in my game directory and take notes on their branding, their personality, and whatever, their schedule or something. That's really specific. And it'll probably give you lots of good ideas on what to add to your own channel, what kind of the difference is between you and someone who's just a cut above you. That stuff I think is really great. So definitely try that out, guys, if you're looking for inspiration and you're kind of stuck at all. Because that works at any level, right? Whether you are brand new, you have 0 viewers, or you're up there in 100, there's always someone better than or bigger than you, even if you're at the top of your directory, but someone's at another directory and they're a little bit above you. There's something you can learn from other people. So great stuff. Gamer Dad, what are your thoughts on this?
So it kind of goes along with finding your brand or finding your value, or another word I think we've missed is finding your niche. Like your viewers there will be viewers that come to almost anything that you want to do. So more so find what you want to be on the platform. For me, it was I wanted to be a tutorial streamer, and I wanted to be a tutorial streamer in a way that I was painting my stuff. There's plenty of people out there who do things. There's plenty of ninjas in all of the channels, right? There's always that top performer. I'm not going to be that guy, at least not now, but I could be that top performer in what my niche is, however you want to say it. Niche. Okay. Whatever your niche is, so I focused on, I want to say a lower quality kind of output, but it's more of like a tabletop style, a basic production of what I'm painting versus like something you're going to put out in front of a competition to be judged and win awards. Painting stuff for the game and everything. I started focusing on that, and that worked for me, and it was easy to find people who wanted to see that because there's 5 other streamers at any given time doing that other thing, so I found something that I liked, I wanted to produce, and other people enjoyed, and that was really it. I see streamers are like, I'm gonna be the next ninja. No, you're not. Just and it's tough because you've already lost. You've already started to fail, because how are you going to measure that? Are you going to measure it off of the tens of thousands of views you think you're going to get? And you can't really make an achievable goal that way. But starting with what you want to do and building your brand, your name, your marketing and emotes and graphics around it, that could work.
I like that a lot too. It all kind of blends together. A lot of the stuff you'll kind of hear us repeat ourselves because, finding your niche, finding the game that works best for you should be a mix of what you really enjoy and what is somewhat sustainable. Because I know we said, you should enjoy your game, but if you're streaming Pong on Twitch, some game that there's no viewership for, yeah, you'll love it, but you do have to think a little bit about what is going to make the sense for you to grow. If you want to grow, that's important. So good points there. Got some comments from the chat. I'd like to see if we can, I'll give you guys some of the goals that people have in the chat. I want to get your thoughts on them and if they can make it any better with making it more specific or just a tweak or something. So first one is from Muir Dragon. Hopefully I'm saying that right again. My current goal is to create a Minecraft realm for my VIPs, but first I need to figure out the criteria for regulars versus VIPs. I'm totally lost as to how to do it. It's a good point. So what do you guys think about that goal for setting up a Minecraft realm for your VIPs in chat?
I've done that, not with the realms, but with a server, Minecraft server, and I've had the same kind of problem as well. One thing that you could do maybe is tweak the permissions a bit, or maybe give them a little bit of a starter pack or something, or an area where they can do their own thing away from the general followers, or maybe even just give them that extra bit of responsibility on a server, help them shape the world. It all depends really what your Minecraft server is, what your realm is going to be. But even by just empowering them that bit more, if they really are part of the community, then it will make your life a bit easier because all of a sudden there'll be some great work going on in the background, but also it makes them feel a bit more than just an average viewer.
Yeah, giving people, again, kind of like Velok said earlier, more incentives to want to do something is always going to be helpful. Gamer Dad or Velok, you guys have any thoughts on that goal?
Okay, I was waiting to see who was going to talk. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to judge what a VIP would be because a lot of people go with the monetary side of it. How long you've been subbing, how much you've donated, how many bits you've thrown. So it's really hard to judge that. To me, it is the consistency of the viewer. I would say that at least my bot will turn somebody into a regular automatically in the channel as they reach 50 hours of viewership. Well, that's easy if you've been streaming for more than a year. If you've got people that are around, then you're gonna have too many regulars. But it's more of a gut feeling to me. There's no real measurable criteria to me other than, Veli comes by every few weeks, every once in a while to say hey, and no matter how long it's been between me being in his channel and him being in my channel, there's that consistency from that friend, that relationship that's going to come to you. And to me, that would be a VIP. But then there's also someone who comes into my channel literally every day and will just say hi and then paint along with me. That's also a VIP. Well, Veli doesn't have nearly the same number of hours as that person, so it's hard. But it's more of, I would say it's more of someone who demonstrates your community the best. And sometimes you can't necessarily measure that with a number. Right.
Yeah, the VIP thing, that's a whole nother discussion that we've talked extensively about on our podcast because there's no default setting for it. So
right.
But in terms of creating something exclusive like a Minecraft realm for your VIPs or your subs, I think that's a great goal because it's very on you. Like you're the one who has to set it up and think through all that. So you control all those things and it sounds like it's meaningful to you. So I think the goal in and of itself is good. You'll just have to think through how you want to work out the VIP stuff. And that's a whole challenge. So good luck on that. Snoop Hogg kind of expanding on his comment earlier. He said, so think about what the platform showcases. Instead of going against the grain, trying to keep my content original while working within the constraints of what the platform puts out. So here's the goal. So for me, swearing a bit less, since the audience tends to be somewhat younger, and trying to strategically pick games I enjoy that are in a good position on the platform as well. Okay, so two kind of goals there. One is to swear less. One is to pick games that are strategic in terms of stuff that he enjoys and is going to get him some viewership. What do you guys think of those goals? Maybe start with Velok here.
Not swearing or swearing less is something that I tried a couple months ago, and within 15 minutes, I was like, nope, this is stupid. I'm going to start swearing again. And it's just like, for me, it's just not natural. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like for some people, it's probably way easier, but like at this point, it's like a part of me where like, I don't know what to say if I have to like mediate what I say. You know what I mean? Like I can't filter everything because my brain, like, I think I say the funniest things when I don't have a filter. Obviously I don't say crazy words. Like I'm not going to go ham on it or anything. But if you can still be yourself without like trying to like put on a show of not swearing, then by all means do that for sure. Like it obviously will open up more of an audience to you, a younger audience, and maybe some parents in there that want to watch streams with their kids. That's huge. I think that's a really good idea to try to do. And if it works out, then 100% keep going with that for sure.
Right. Awesome. Greg or Gamer Dad, you guys have thoughts or experience on these goals?
As far as the, not necessarily swearing, but the I guess the atmosphere that you provide, because whether you swear or not, that does set an atmosphere. You know, I have tried being a loud, overly energetic streamer, which usually involves my wife marching up the stairs and telling me she can hear me from the bedroom, which means my daughter can hear us while she's sleeping. But you know, so it is tough because I do have a very loud projecting voice, especially when I get very passionate about something. You can hear my voice kind of just pick up and go. So that's just who I am, kind of like going with Veli. You know, there's a certain kind of language we each carry with our personality, and you have to be true to yourself, and you also have to make sure that your stream is set up to what's true to you. So yeah, I may not be using the same kind of vocabulary others are on streams, but I can definitely feel it in my voice.
Right.
What does not feel normal and what does. And it's hard. It's really tough. But you have to be true to yourself. Even if that means putting an 18 plus on there, you have to be true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like these goals, Snoop. I think you could make them a little bit more specific, because swearing less is still kind of vague. So maybe, you know, every time you swear, you know, the most classic example is put money in a jar, but maybe you do something for chat if you swear, or something that's actually going to not make you want to swear.
Push
if
up.
You set it up right. Yeah. Something that you don't want to do as like a punishment or whatever. However you do it, you need to be a little bit more specific with that, I think, if you want to see it work. And then the game stuff too is still kind of vague. I think if you even just set like one game a week where I'm going to do research and pick one game that I think has potential for growth, that would be a better goal there than that you could try out on stream. So, but I think both of those are good because you've explained why they mean so much to you. So if you can execute on them, I think they'll work out really well for you. Good stuff. So next Paints in the chat says, one of mine is to try and be more active with the various communities I'm in. This, I think, is a pretty common goal for a lot of people who get overwhelmed by all the communities that are in. So maybe start with Greg this time. What would you kind of say to next? Do you think that's a good goal? Could he make it better anyway?
You can make it more measurable. When you say engage with the community, you're talking through the actual streaming platform, or you talking in Discords or anything. My advice for anyone would be only be part of a Discord group if you know you're going to engage with it, because I've been caught out where I've had streams of Discord groups and I've just had to basically go through and say, look, I'm not giving it my all in this one, and you know, I'm barely coming into it because whether or not they're interlinked or something. Firstly, do that, because otherwise you'll lose yourself. And I completely get, sometimes you have best intentions to go and see all of your buddies streaming, and sometimes with work and then you coming home and doing your stream and everything, it can't always happen. But even if you're just in someone's stream for like 5 minutes, if you just say, right, at the end of, for example, we do raids, and I'm sure Twitch has raids as well, right? Where you go over and you raid someone. Yep. Okay, cool. That's like the best part of my stream. Going over to some completely random person. That's a great way of making new friends as well and bringing communities together. So one of my goals is always at the end of the stream, make sure I find someone who maybe isn't in the top row of the views or anything, and just give them a bit of a boost and just to get to know them a bit as well. I mean, you've had good reactions, bad reactions. You know, sometimes the bot will completely mute you and mute all the raid and everything. That's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, it's hit and miss. But if you can make that as a thing as well after a stream, or even if you just jump in after your stream for 5 minutes, if you just say, right, every time I'm going to go and see someone sitting there for 5 minutes before I then go off and, you know, rest, eat, drink, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Rating is a really great way to start to network more, because you do it at the same time, generally at the end of your stream. So it's easy to get into the habit of doing. I like that you also mentioned platform, because there's a lot of ways you could be more active in your community, whether you're talking more in Discord or you're spending more times in other people's streams, whatever it is, getting specific about the platform and what you're going to do specifically on that platform will make it much more actionable to try to network more and whatever that means to you. So I agree with that. Vel or GamerDad, any thoughts to add here?
Okay.
If not, it's okay. We can go on to the next question.
So the Discord thing is a huge part for me, and knowing Nix personally, I have a feeling part of this comes into not only viewing channels, but the abundance of creative Discords that are out there. And going back to numbers, you can fall into, I'm going to join this so I can post in announcements that I'm going live. Nobody knows me there.
No one looks at that.
Right.
No one
Nobody
looks at that.
cares who I am if the only time they see my name is when they see my stream going live. So, you know, it would be one of those things, and this is going to be one of my goals in 2019. It's going to be to clean up the Discords, because I'm in 50 plus, and whittle it down to the ones that I can feel comfortable contributing to. And contribution would be at least one post a week of responding to other people, not just posting pictures of my work and posting that I'm going live, but being able to respond and contribute to the conversations at least once a week would be contribution to me to a Discord. And which means my participation goes up in those Discords, as well as my stress level of having to go through 50 of them to mark all as read when I get notifications I don't even want to see. So, you know, that's really what it comes down to, is what do you view as your participation in those other communities? You know, I'm not going to unfollow people because I don't see them but once a month, but you know, I'm going to make a conscious effort to knowing where I'm going to provide a contribution to that community, as opposed to mooch off of their free announcements for my own stream.
Right. Being more strategic and intentional about valuing the communities that you're in, I think makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're mostly out of goals. I know a lot of people in the chat are sort of not sure where to start with their goals. If you guys have maybe like a vague idea of a goal, like if you know you want to grow your viewership, or if you know you want to have a more active community, you can just mention those in chat and we'll help you think through some more specific ways to make that happen. In the meantime, Susie asked that we talk to Veloc about his 2019 networking goals. So I'm curious, have networking goals here.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to be full-time streaming in January, like all next year. So I don't have a job to go to during the day or anything. So I'm going to have a lot of free time, and I am going to be going to people's streams. I'm going to be hanging out with them, talking to them, just, you know, networking, making new friends, and trying to connect more with the friends that I already have, trying to make it to people's streams more that I can't make currently. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. I'm going to be, you know, active on Twitter, active in Twitch, Discord, everything. I think it is a huge thing that I haven't been able to do as much as I've wanted. And that's because of my schedule. And I have this really great opportunity coming up that normally I wouldn't be able to get. So I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that. So I will be in Discords. I will be talking to as many people as I can during my time. It's a huge, huge deal to be able to network with people and talk with people outside of your stream, especially the ones who make it day in and day out of your stream. Showing them support the way that they show you support is crucial.
Yeah, I like that. So you're going to be spending a lot more time doing that networking off stream, especially. Yeah. And you can get really specific with that and strategic with how you do it. I think because some of that involves just testing out things and seeing what works. And then as you find what you like to do most and also what works the most, you can get more specific on, okay, this is working. Let's start doing this 3 or 5 times a week because it's working for me. So I like that a lot. I'm also curious for GamerDad and Greg.
Yep.
I'll start with GamerDad here. What's like your biggest goal going into 2019 if you had to get pretty specific with your certain goal?
One of my biggest goals is going to be expand my Mentor Monday stream concept and to bring it to published videos on YouTube on a regular basis, so that I can kind of share and remember some of the stuff that I'm doing, painting concepts and color choices and stuff like that. So I've got a goal to, for now, probably more once a month or twice a month, publishing a tutorial video from a Monday stream, but I want to network that out a little bit more so I get more participation, more questions in each Monday stream. That's my big focus. because that's really the community that I want, is a place where people know how they can come get answers. And if I can't produce the answer, I can find the person that can. You know what I mean? So that's where I want to be.
Yeah, that's really cool because you're running that program, so you can be the one to kind of create more activity around it, which I think is great. Greg, what's your big focus for 2019 if you had to put it into one key goal?
I'm going to be stepping into the unknown a bit, doing basically what we're doing now. What I want to do is more web shows with partnered streamers, with viewers, with hopefully, even if I get the opportunity, some of the Mixer team themselves.
Oh, wow.
To do Q&As, to do streamer 101s, and just become a bit more, give a bit back to the platform, to try and help streamers starting out, and also to have those conversations with the partner streamers as well. And from that, to try and up the banter between streams as well, have that bit of competition, a bit of competitive rivalry, where, you know, all of a sudden, a bit like supporting a football club, you can then have that kind of like level of interaction between streams as well. So, you know, trying to do those kind of themes through 2019 is going to be really big for me.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And I like that you have so many ideas around it. I'm interested to see what specifically you end up rolling out first. And I like that it's a cause that sounds very close to you. So very, very cool. I'll quickly share mine. We're kind of wrapping up here already. It's a fast show. So we've got a couple minutes left here. If you guys have any last minute questions or thoughts, let me know. My goal for 2019 is actually a little bit different, probably than most. So I'm actually trying to take my stream less seriously, which sounds weird. But I've sort of been in the spot where I've been feeling guilty about not streaming more, or like I should be doing more with my stream. And I've kind of realized that I just want to have fun with my stream and not feel so pressured to grow followers and viewers and make it about money and whatever. And not that I think there's anything wrong with that. I think that stuff is awesome. And that's what we talk about on our podcast all day. But I want my personal stream to just be, you know, I'll stream when I can. The whole point of it is just to hang out with people and talk and get to know people better. Growth and money and all that is secondary, not my focus. So that's what I'm challenging myself to focus on in 2019. And I should probably get more specific with it, as you can guess. All of us can probably get more specific because that's always more helpful. But that's kind of my big focus. And I hope that helps some people who might feel like they need to level up their stuff. But if you just enjoy the fun of streaming and the whole experience, then you don't have to get so bogged down by all these, you know, viewership numbers and money and whatever. If you just enjoy streaming, then just have fun with it at the end of the day. I think that's important to remember. So anyway, that's pretty much everything I had prepared for today. And hopefully you guys found it very helpful. If you want more help with goal setting, I did a podcast, a video, and a blog article on it last year. So reach out and I can hook you up with some resources. If this is something that you're excited about and you want more help setting your own goals, I can help out with that. Let's go around real quickly and just kind of sign off here. I'll kick this off to Velok first. Anything you want to say to people who are coming in for the first time, or where they can check you out?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Velok, as you guys can see that way. I stream Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the time being until January, when my schedule is going to change. I do a lot of Fortnite, a little bit of other stuff thrown in there too, but mainly Fortnite. You can come in for the coffee stream. You can get me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all same as my Twitch handle.
All the stuff. Go check him out, guys. Next up, Gamer Dad. What do you want to say before we sign off here?
So you can find me on Twitch most nights on my channel, either doing tutorials or podcasts or just community games. And so come check it out if you have questions on streaming or creative or how to paint things. You know, that's kind of one of the things we focus on. And hopefully we'll see you there.
Awesome. Last but not least, SaltedGreg. Where can folks find you and what should they know?
You'll find me in the dark corners of Mixer. I'll be streaming. I'm across the pond from you guys, so when you're tuning in and having breakfast and everything, I might be on about midday, evening times in the UK. Guys, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having me on this, and I want to get to know more of the true fam in the Discord as well. And yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, and Merry Christmas as well to you all.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys, all three, for coming on here. Thanks to everyone who came out and watched the show today. And thanks to BeLive for working with us. They're the ones who built this software that we're using. Really excited about the future of it. And yeah, just great to work with them on some stuff. Hopefully there'll be more coming in the future. And that will be it from us. We will see you guys probably not till the new year for the StreamKey podcast. If you're a listener or viewer of that, just because Christmas time is here. So we'll be gone for a bit. But hang tight. We'll be back in January, and we can't wait to see you guys there. Till later, guys. We will see you later.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.